This is Dave with Taboo Customs. This video today we're going to take a look at the assembly and the installation of our Jeep Cherokee rear shackle relocation kit. So for starters, let's take a look at the kit. So this kit will come in pieces, and so you're going to need to assemble this to your kit yourself, and that's what we're going to go through here in a second. So with these pieces, you're going to get two side pieces, you're going to get the base, you're going to get a back piece, and then a couple of gussets that'll hold this tube in over here. Now the biggest thing with this kit is that make sure that you are comfortable with your welding. If you're not comfortable with your welding skill, if you would not bet your life on your welds, then this is something that you're going to want to find someone that is a skilled welder to make sure that they do assemble. In addition to this kit, you're also going to get a couple of bolts to bolt this to the front of the existing shackle mount in the Jeep unibody. So let's take a look at the assembly. Alright, to start the assembly, we're going to start off with the base and the two tube gussets. We're going to use a square. We're going to install one of the tube gussets, and they will go on the inside slots that are in the base. You want to make sure that you are parallel to the outside here, and then we can tack this in place. For now, we're just going to tack everything in place because we're going to want to tack it in place and check the fit up on the Jeep before we weld anything solid. Then we're going to want to install the second gusset. Now with this gusset, what we will normally do is use our tube to help line it up. And if they're installed correctly, you should have a little bit of tube that sticks out past the gussets on each side. That way we can weld in the inside and the outside. For now, we can just tack this tube in place. So we'll just even up between the two sides here. Make sure there's the same amount of tube sticking out on each end. If you really want to get technical about it, you can take a square and make sure that the distance here and here to the sides of the tube are the same. Okay, so we've got this the first assembly done. If you want, right now you can actually go and you can check it up into the Jeep. You're going to have to make sure you remove your shackle already, which can be a little bit difficult. You know, if you've seen some of our videos, you know that those bolts can get stuck inside that unibody frame, but you can go and check and make sure this would fit, and it should fit without an issue. The next step is we can start working on the bottom pieces, and again the same thing. We're going to want to use our square, and these are a little bit more difficult. So these pieces will go around this section and then fall into the slot here. So once we have those there, we can start with one, get it squared up, and pretty much it will fall into place. Now make sure that you are over against this plate here. You don't want a gap in there. And then once you have everything closed up and you're square, put a couple of tacks. Alright, so the next step can get a little tricky. You have a couple of options. You can try to use a square and put this other side on here. What we will do though is once you get it in the slot down here, we'll actually use this plate that goes to the front of the shackle mount to basically set the width and to use it to hold it square. So you're going to put that plate in the slots. It's a little tricky. You can hold it there. Make sure you're flush on the top and on the bottom, and go ahead and tack it in place. Now, if you've done everything correctly, you should have right at about 2 3/4 between these two surfaces, which is what you're going to need to fit your shackle in there. Now let's take a look at what it looks like on the Jeep, and we'll make sure that everything is tacked together and in the right place before we solid weld it. Now, if you've done everything correctly, these two surfaces here should be just over 2 3/4. Your shackle bushing should be 2 3/4 wide, so this will be just over 2 3/4 inches wide. So now that we've got everything tacked together, we can go over to the Jeep and we'll check the fit. Okay, so with it over at the Jeep, we can check the fit by sliding it up into the shackle area, putting our original shackle bolt in, and then we can take our 2 7/16 bolts and make sure that they'll go into the front area of this shackle. Once I see how it lines up. So what we're going to do now, because this one fits just fine, if you have some adjustments to make, you may have to cut it apart a little bit and adjust it, but for the most part it should bolt right into place without issue. What we can do now is take it over, we'll solid weld it, and then we can bring it back and reinstall it after paint. Now when we go to install it, we're going to want to make sure we get all of these bolts in here first before we tighten anything down. Once you have them in there, you can go ahead and make sure that this is pushed all the way up against the bottom of the shackle mount here. Tighten this bolt and then tighten these two front bolts. To tighten the two front bolts, you do have this hole through the bottom so you can access the nuts on the back side. And once you have that done, you'll have many more options as far as your shackle mounting angles and things where you can dial things in a little bit better. So there we go, we've got our two shackle relocation assemblies completed. You know, they really don't take too much time. Now they just pretty much need cleaned up and painted and installed. That does it for this video. You know, thanks for watching. If you're interested in purchasing one of these kits, they can be found on taboocustoms.com. Or if you have any questions or comments, you can get a hold of us at taboocustoms.com and drop us a line there. All right, thanks for watching, and as always, please like or subscribe.